Hi, everybody. I am going to wait just a minute or two to see if anybody comes in. I know I'm late again, but I had a couple of things that I had to get done before I came on. So let's see if anybody joins in. Somebody's here. Hi. Hello. Happy to see you. Whoever is here now. Uh, wow, today turned out to be a really strange day. I realized that I had forgotten to go to motor vehicle to renew my license. And I wanted to make sure I got it done before the end of the month because this was my birthday month. And I made the mistake. I didn't listen to all the people who had warned me not to go to the most local one because it's crazy busy. Oh, hi, Mary. I actually was going to tell your story, so I can tell it or you can tell it, whatever you want, because I wanted everybody to know so that we could continue. And I really think we need to do kind of a prayer vigil at this point to make sure, hi, Lauren, to make sure that we're all together in this, because look at the incredible difference it made in my world. And I certainly want that for you and for your son as well. So again, let's wait till a few more people get in. And you tell me, I was going to read from what you had written to me when you gave me permission to share the information. But if you prefer to do it from your end, please, by all means do. Hi. Um, so again, I want to make sure that that is okay. All right, I'm just going to wait a few more minutes then to make sure that more people are in because I don't want to have to repeat it. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, Sheila. We need to do that. Um, Hi, how are you, Casey? Nice to see you. So, anyway, getting back to my story until we have a few more people in here, I had gone to motor vehicle, the most local one. And when I got into the place, I could not believe it. I don't remember which phone. I think I actually took the picture on the phone that I'm filming on. So let me take a look. But it was such a crazy, yeah. It's on the other one. The numbers of people there were unbelievable. They I don't know how they do it in all of your localities, but here they have 30 windows in this particular DMV, and they call the numbers constantly. So it's constantly moving. It was like sitting, first of all, it was sitting in this huge, it was as if you were sitting in a huge gymnasium and there were people all around, and it was absolutely crazy. And they kept calling numbers. They had numbers that started, they all started with letters. So they had ones that started with A, with B, with E. They did have C, with I, with G. Mine started with an R. And the first 20 minutes that I sat there, yes, absolutely. And I'm going to share Mary's story that she shared with me and said that I could share to you. Again, I was just seeing if there were more people coming in because I didn't want to have to repeat it. Um, in any case, well, I don't know, maybe I should do it now. Let me get back to, all right, now we had waited and we didn't hear anything the first day or so. Hi. Hi, Patty. Hi, Denise. Okay, I'm sharing what Mary had shared with me about her son's experience when we were all waiting to hear what happened. And she had given me permission to share this with you, and Mary is with us. But I think it's easier if I just tell it to you. Finish the DMV story. Okay. I mean, it was nothing that earth-shattering other than to tell you that the R numbers were going extremely slowly. So that in the 20 minutes that I sat there, the first 20 minutes, they called 2 R numbers, and they were constantly calling every other letter. And I thought, I'm really in trouble. Because I got there, they logged me in at 2:05, they close at 4. And by 3 o'clock, they were still 10 numbers away from me. And I thought, this will never happen. To make a long story short, I finally got in there, but it took almost the full 2 hours. It was crazy, crazy busy. And I wasn't able to get that new enhanced license because I didn't have the right paperwork with me. So I'm going to have to go back anyway, but at least I got that taken care of. Okay, now this is what Mary had shared with me. She said the news has not been good at all, unfortunately for my son Lance. The doctors fear sarcoma for the tumor, which is too large to be operated on at this time, as well as probable bone involvement and encircling the main artery from the heart to the lower body. He went for a CT scan with dye and barium today. We haven't received the results from it as yet. Now, this was sent to me, when was it? Yesterday. She wrote, my daughter lives about 50 miles east of Los Angeles and has a master's degree with honors in physical therapy. She has suggested we come to stay with her to seek further treatment out there. There are no high-volume sarcoma centers in Alabama, and there are 6 in her vicinity. And it appears Cedars-Sinai and UCLA have the best physicians to handle his particular situation. Now we need to find out if either or both will accept his Aetna insurance. My daughter and granddaughters are leaving this evening as planned before all this happened. We are now just awaiting the results from the CT scan and a referral appointment to see a specialty surgeon here at the University of Alabama Birmingham Hospital. That hospital and physicians are out of network for his insurance. Thank you so much for your interest and prayers. I appreciate you and all the owls more than I can say. Now, as I had told Mary, certainly I gave her the name of my surgeon, and I know in reality it really, I'm sure it would be wonderful to be close to family, because David and Rachel had suggested to me before I was going for my treatment that it would be a good idea to be with family. So I really, the more I think about it, the more I think that that really is the way to go. However, Mary, if you have any interest, Rachel's father is a radiologist out there, and he was very helpful to me when I was going through my situation. So if you want me to ask him if he knows of any sarcoma specialists out there that he would recommend, I certainly will do that for you, because getting somebody who has familiarity with his particular type of sarcoma is going to be very, very helpful. Amy Crago, who was my surgeon, had told me at the time that there are probably 110 or more different types of sarcoma, soft tissue sarcoma. And I know you said that there's a possibility of bone involvement with his as well. So the more somebody knows about that particular kind of tumor, better it's going to be. And nowadays, you have no idea, with all the new innovations in immunotherapy, what might make a difference. I mean, I was reading about that just the other day, that there was somebody who was suffering from, I forgot which cancer it was, and she had run through all the traditional therapies available, and unfortunately, she still they didn't give her a lot of time. And then she went on this program where they did the immunotherapy, and she is totally in remission at this point. So there are all kinds of things, hi Myra, that have come out and that are changing in this area a lot. The great difficulty with sarcoma is that there are so many fewer cases of it than any of the carcinomas or anything. It's just a small fraction. So there's less money spent on that area to, hi Melissa, um, and it makes it more difficult for us. But there are some wonderful, wonderful physicians who really know what they're doing. You need one of those. You absolutely need one of those. And my guess is that they would come to the same conclusion that they came to with me in terms of wanting to do some kind of radiation therapy before they even attempted. And I know you said that at this stage that they're not feeling that they can do surgery right now. But what they tried to do with me was that they wanted to make sure that they were radiating it so that it would not likely come back in the same place. And mine too, as you know, was huge. So the fact that his is not necessarily as terrible as it sounds. There was also a young man when I was doing my research before I found my doctor team. There was this young man, I think he was 28. He was just recently married. If you Google it or look it up on YouTube, you'll find it, I'm sure. He had just gotten married, I think, and he had this huge sarcoma, and they wound up taking it out, and the results were really wonderful from it. So I have great hope for your son and for his case, and really feel that that it can be, his outcome can be much better than the initial diagnosis would suggest. It is a scary diagnosis. I know it is. Okay, the reason that I mention this to all of you is obviously we need to all kind of set up some kind of a prayer group so that we can do our part to help his process as he goes through all of this. And once again, as I say, there was a highway of prayers for me, and I believe more than I can tell you just how much it helped. I'm also going to make another suggestion, Mary, if he would do this. Tell him to not watch really, it's listen to the Louise Hay tapes. They are free, they're online, they're on YouTube. Patty, Patty Cox Bailey, Patty Bailey, yeah, I think it's Patty, had sent me a book from Louise Hay, and I didn't even know who she was at the time. And it started to help me, but it was really hard for me to focus on the words because at the time I was going through such a terrible time. But somebody had mentioned that it also was available online, and I looked it up on YouTube, and I played one particular meditation of hers, and I will find it and I will link it in the Night Owls page, because I used to play it every night as I was falling asleep. And they said it didn't matter whether you're awake or asleep, that it would be assimilated by your brain anyway. And it helped me enormously. It really did, because there is so much that we can do to help in the healing process, because so much of what we do hinders the healing process because of all of the psychological things that we go through. So I don't know. Oh, they did come in. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. And I trust you'll let us know because I'll be waiting to hear about that. But do tell him to listen to her tapes and, to try. I know it's hard. Lord knows I know it better than anybody how hard it is to try to quiet your mind and not go to that awful place that hearing the word sarcoma takes us to. So, is there anything else that you want to share? Or if anybody else has any advice or suggestions or anything, please do share it. Because I think, once again, any help coming from anywhere at this point would be enormously helpful. I was lucky in that I also had Rachel's father because he took a look at my, um, oh, that is so frustrating to me. That whole, so they don't want to allow him to go there for treatment? Is that what it is? I would imagine that they would have to give it. The fact to me, hi Peggy, yes, absolutely. I think the fact that it's all about money and the patient is secondary and saving lives is secondary is the most frustrating thing in the world to me when it comes to medicine. It really is. I have to tell you, the first time, okay, I will definitely ask him because they had recommended at the time that I just pray that they will do it. Let's add that to our prayer that Aetna will give him the exception and let him have the treatment there. I think I think it's foolish in a way also for the insurance companies because the truth is, if we get the best treatment available, there is less need for the constant treatment as you go along a disease process when you don't have the right treatment in the first place. So, but yeah, as I say, when I first had it, and they told me to come to California, um, he was gonna try to get people for me, but he was very helpful to me because when he looked at my the results of my MRI, I gave him access to the actual films and the reports and everything, and he did speak to my doctors. So it was very helpful. I felt as if I had somebody who cared about me as a separate person, that I wasn't just a disease, that I was a human being, because I think there is a danger in that for healthcare professionals that they don't see the person, they see the disease. And I think that's tough. And I think I may have helped my doctors a little bit to kind of do that because I was so focused in on it. And I had said to them at one point, I said to my surgeon, I said, don't look at me as an older woman and think that I don't have the fight in me or that why fight for it because of age. I'm a person and I want to have a life at the end of this road, and I'm grateful that they did that. So yes, I will be doing that for you, Mary. And I know sarcomas are very rare. Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't remember if he had mentioned Cedar Sinai or UCLA. There, excellent hospitals, there's no question. At the time that they suggested that I go out there, I had a number of concerns. One of them was that I didn't know where I would be staying, and I think the plan was to have me be at an apartment somewhere, and it kind of frightened me to be in a place where I was going to be alone and had no extended support system other than David and Rachel, and they were so busy with the business and everything that I thought at the time that I would probably be better with the team that was already set up here. Um, and they were wonderful. I mean, thank God they got me through it. Please, God, let it stay that way. I know there are no guarantees with anything, with any of us, about anything in life, but certainly with sarcoma, it is, as I say, it's less studied because it is such a small percentage of the cancers out there. Oh, they have a new sarcoma center? That is really wonderful to hear, Melissa. I'm happy to hear it for Lance, and I'm happy to hear it in case California is an option for me then, because it would mean that he has blood clots again. Where are the blood clots, Mary? Oh, you did? Oh, okay. Yeah. I know that, as I say, Rachel's father had said that the hospitals out there were excellent. And he was checking in with some of the specialists at the time when I was going through mine. What I started to tell you before was it was so helpful for me because I had said to him when I first spoke to him, and I didn't know him at all at that point, I had said, would you be concerned about if you saw my diagnosis or whatever? And he said, absolutely. Yes. Yeah, it's really hard, Marla, though, with sarcoma because sarcoma, it requires people with very, very specific knowledge of specific types of sarcoma. And there are too many different ones, and they require there's a different protocol for the different ones. Um, there is also an incredible medical oncologist here in New York who is one of the top ones in the country, also with a specialty in sarcoma. So if any of the doctors need to check in with this doctor also, his name is Robert Mackey. I think that was his name. I'm pretty sure that was his name. Um, and I was lucky to get an appointment with him, so I got to see him. I know. I know. And I got, listen, I got very lucky. I started out with a doctor. I can't really blame him because he didn't know. He had no knowledge of it. I should have listened to my inner voice and not stayed with it that long. Wow, that's big. Oh, you said that. Yes, you said that. Mary, my heart goes out to you because it is so hard as a parent to go through something like that for a child. It's worse than going through it for ourselves because feeling as if you just don't have the ability to make it better. And that's so what we want to do for our children. We always want to make it better. So I'm proton therapy. Um, yeah, if you're talking about proton, Proton therapy, you're talking about for radiation? Is that what you're talking about, Patty? Because let me know if that's what you're talking about. Because if it is, it's what my brother had been talking to me about when I was going through mine, because my brother is a nuclear physicist, and that was his area of expertise, the proton therapy and all of that. Um, and he was explaining to me, though, that, and there was a facility in New Jersey that did it, yes. But what he said to me, and he said, yes, because it does much less harm because it's targeted right to the tumor. It doesn't pass through the healthy tissue. They do use proton therapy. They have it, as I say, in New Jersey. But my brother said to me, what's really important is how old is the equipment? How good are the people running it? Because when I was having my radiation therapy, he wanted me to have the proton therapy. But he said to me, unless they really, again, it's only as good as the people running it. So, there are pluses and minuses to all of this. But the difference and what makes it so much better, again, I'm a novice. He explained it to me. And if I'm getting this wrong, forgive me, but what he had said was typical radiation goes into the body. It passes through healthy tissue to get to the tumor, but it doesn't stop at the tumor. It goes through the tumor. Whereas the proton therapy stops at the edge of the tumor and it does not go through and damage other tissue around it. Again, if I've got it slightly wrong, forgive me, but he had explained it to me about a year ago. So if I don't remember it exactly, forgive me. Yes. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is at the very best, it is such, I think it challenges everything in us. It challenges our faith. It challenges our ability to accept, to function, to think past it. It's devastating. So yes, I'm sure a whole lot of us will be praying for you, for him, in the morning, before and at the time of his appointment. And obviously, I'm going to be waiting to hear from you. So the sooner we know anything, and what I can do if you want, and you let me know if you want me to. Yes, it is used here. If you want me to, I can come on again tomorrow night just for a short time, just to kind of talk about what the results are, if that's going to be helpful for the group. So you let me know. And yeah, I'm delighted to hear that about Cedars-Sinai, that they have a whole sarcoma um, specialty, whole sarcoma service. Because again, there's just not enough known about it. But they're getting much better. And they are coming up. There are different immunotherapies that they're working on as well for all of this. So you need to talk to all the doctors that he's going to be involved with about all of that and what the possibilities are. Okay, okay. Then I am going to come on again tomorrow night. As I say, it's going to be short. It'll be just about this. Yes, that is true. That is true, Patty. It is the proton therapy is not covered, and it's certainly not widely used. I mean, I'm in New York City. I mean, New York State and downstate New York. And yeah, and and I would have had to go to New Jersey for it. And that was actually New Jersey, I think was one of the, I don't know if it was one of the original, but it was one of the much earlier ones, which made it, not necessarily the best choice for a place to go. And I would have had to stay in New Jersey for the whole period of 6 weeks. And that would have been very difficult. I would have had to find somebody to stay with. Having having your family there and having people who care right close by is going to be an enormous help. It's going to be an enormous help to him, and it's going to be an enormous help to you. It really is. I think absolutely. Yeah. There's a lot of love coming your way, Mary. I know that you know that. So we will make sure that we do everything that we can to help. I don't know what else I can share about that. I can't think of anything else right off the top of my head that will be helpful to you at this moment in time. But yeah, so yes, absolutely. So I think, let me know if anybody else has anything to say about this, because maybe what I'll do is I'll end it early tonight. And I don't want to talk about anything else at this point tonight because I think this is way too important. And let's focus on this. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's really great. Having all of this additional information is good. Yeah, and as I say, I will check. David and Rachel are in San Diego right now. I'm not sure where Paul is, but if he is in LA or if he's reachable, um, I'll see if I can get the information for you right away. But as I say, David, Rachel, and the kids are in San Diego on vacation. So I'll do my best to get the information right away. But if I can't, I'll get it as soon as I possibly can. Good. Okay, that's great. I'm going to leave this for another couple of minutes in case anybody has anything to add. Okay. If there's nothing specific, I just wonder though if she'd be better off at one of those major sarcoma centers, Melissa. That's wonderful. That really is wonderful. So it's going to make it easier for you. Yeah. Uh, the more I think about it, the more I wish I were in LA. Where is Redlands? Oh, is it? Oh, I remember here. That's right. It was Loma Linda.
I didn't quite get that.
the problem is with the new phone, all you have to do is say, "Hey Siri," and this stupid thing talks to you. San Bernardino County. Is that nearer to you, or is that, where is that? Is that farther east? That's wonderful. It's about 20 minutes from you. That's good to know. That really is good to know. Oh my God, Redlands is 75 miles east of Los Angeles. By the way, just to lighten things up for a tiny bit, this is a picture David sent me today of them in San Diego. So, okay, everybody. I'm going to end it for tonight. I will say prayers tonight before I go to sleep. Isn't that nice? It really is. It looks wonderful. They went to the San Diego Zoo, and I gather they all had a great time. Yeah, they are, aren't they? I mean, they're just wonderful together. They really are. They're such a positive force together. There's one more picture, and I love this one. This is so, so great. Isn't that nice? That's in San Diego too. And probably the best picture that they sent me was this one. Yes, I think that this is true. This is true. I mean, and look, I mean, all of this, that I had that and he has that. I mean, when you say that is it his femoral artery? I'm sorry, not is it the femoral artery that's involved in his case? Mine, they were concerned about the femoral artery, but I think mine was more with the femoral nerve. Yes, absolutely. Oh, the vena cava. Yeah. Oh, okay. Um, we're all going to go through this together with you. I mean, we will be there with you spiritually. Okay. I'm going to be back tomorrow night. I will be sharing anything that Mary shares with me. And I know we'll all be praying tonight and tomorrow morning for Lance, and that it's a good, good result. Take care, everybody. Much love, and see you then. Good night. Sleep well, Mary. I know you won't sleep too terribly well, but I hope you can rest a little bit. You might want to try listening to the Louise Hay tapes yourself. It's very, very soothing. Take care, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow.